Hello, everybody.
Hello, hi
Welcome.
everyone. How's everyone
Yeah,
doing?
we actually have an intro now.
Yes,
Not
we have an
bad.
intro. We actually seem a bit more professional.
Yeah, the last time we did this, I actually remember us saying we'll try and do this at least once a month, and that was probably like a year ago.
Yeah,
It's been several months. I've got a video for the Bronies channel that I put together last year, probably about October time, and I still haven't put it up on the channel. And I keep reminding myself I need to put it up on the channel. I haven't done it yet. But work is unfortunately in the way, which
Aye,
unfortunately happens in life in general. But yeah, it's all good. So here we are, the three of us,
finally.
getting old, but still
yeah.
getting on. I'm getting
Yeah.
grey hairs, by the way.
You what?
So
I'm
don't
getting
you
grey
wish you were
hair.
20 or don't you
You're
wish you were
getting
20 or
great.
21 again?
I'm getting grey. Yeah, I'm starting to go grey on this side of my head.
So don't you wish you were 20 or 21 again?
Yeah, I do, but it's what it is.
Oh, so I'm going bald, which I can live with, but Sam can't live with being going grey. So we're
Well,
gonna.
I'm going grey. I've lost most of my
Yeah,
hair up there as well.
I
So.
seem to be losing hair sort of there, but I mean, I had a haircut a couple of days ago.
Yeah, we're all getting old now. We're all in our.
Yeah,
We're almost. Literally, I'm 5 years away from bloody 40, which is scary.
I'm
Yeah,
4 years away from 40, mate. You
yeah.
know.
Well, I'm less than 5 years away now. So
Well,
Well,
you've all got at least a year. I mean, I'll be 40, but you'll all still be 39.
yeah, I'll be.
So,
I'll be at home.
you'll
Me,
walk into TF Nation with me, and it'll be like, "It's all right, Sam. We'll sit you down. Easy on the walking stick, old man." You know. Oh, what? Well, were we at the butcher's? No, Sam. You buy everybody a pint. I am. Yeah, you promised. Oh, right. Oh, did I? Oh, let me get my money. You get my card out. I'll pay for everybody with my card. Thank you. You're
But
so
by then,
nice,
God knows
Sam.
but by then, in another 4 or 5 years, God knows what the prices would be.
Oh, God, yeah. At the Hilton alone, it'll probably be like 50 quid for like half a pint of water. The way things are going.
No, it's today.
20 quid a pint.
I'm looking forward to trying out, because we're all at the Moxie this year, aren't we? And we've not
Yeah.
stayed there before, so
Yeah, TFN at the Moxie, which would be interesting.
Well, it's still at the Hilton, but we're staying at the Moxie.
yeah.
But
we're
it might actually be cheaper there at the bar. If it is, we can get TF Nation to the Moxie bar.
Actually, no. If you obviously me and Lawrence, bloody hell, me and Adam White. Obviously, we've done. Obviously, he came on my live stream we did last week. Was it last week or whenever it was? For a brief moment, and then obviously me and Tony did one with him as well. Apparently, the Moxie tend to put security on the hotel. They won't allow if you're not if you're safe, like you invite somebody to come with you to the Moxie bar. They will literally they will possibly inquire if that person with you or both of you are actually staying at the hotel. So that needs to be kept in mind. Obviously, we can freely go to the Hilton bar as much as we want, but bringing anyone back that isn't at the Moxie could be a problem. So that's something that does need to be considered, just in case somebody forgets or doesn't realise. But apparently, the reason why they put security on, apparently it seems to be the Moxie does that. Apparently, the Moxie puts security on the doors, but yet the Hilton doesn't usually, unless there's a main reason. Like you said, there's an issue in the city centre of Birmingham.
there's often always some kind of event happening at the Metropole Hilton.
Yeah,
and therefore, because a lot of people attend the events that aren't staying there.
Yeah, I mean the campus area where the Hilton and all the other hotels and everything else like stand on, there is a security like policing unit going around all the time on like the golf buggy things. So it is technically monitored most of the time by security to some degree, but obviously when it comes to actual manned security on doors of hotels. The Moxie is the only one I think that does it that I know of. Yeah, but the reason why Adam told me that is because he stayed there before, and he noticed there was security checking people, making sure they did actually stay there, just for security reasons. But
yeah, I've only had that happen at one other hotel that I stayed at a few years ago. I forget what the hotel was, but they would actually I think it was like after 8 o'clock on a night, they literally had security checking at the main door. You came in, you had to actually show your key card for your room or something to let you in.
yeah,
But yeah, I've not seen many hotels do that, but I can understand the Moxie doing it, especially when you've got the Hilton next door and the NEC as well.
We've actually got someone we're watching. We've got our first comment. We've got Ryan on Wi-Fi just coming in. It says Birmingham or Nottingham. Everyone's opinions. So obviously, Bronies in Birmingham this year.
Well,
Honest opinion, Nottingham. I have to be honest. Nottingham. I'll be honest. I appreciate Birmingham's closer. I fully get that. But personally, I'm not a big fan of Birmingham City Centre. I actually hate it. I much prefer Nottingham City Centre. I think it's just a nicer city centre. And also, we were able to get sort of the venue itself as well. I preferred, obviously, the university. I can't comment on the venue at Birmingham because I've never been to the conference centre where they're holding it. I have been to Birmingham quite a few times, and as I said, complete honesty, I'm not a fan of Birmingham. So yeah, but I can understand why they've moved it there because I obviously the conference centre effectively is what it's designed for. But just personal preference, I prefer Nottingham if it was still based there.
No, as I say, I'm looking forward to checking out this new location and this new venue, and hopefully, hopefully it'll work out for the best. Say, we're used to it being at the Nottingham Trent University, but I'm personally just looking forward to checking it out this year. In the new location in Birmingham at the conference centre. And thankfully we've already got a hotel sorted that that is convenient to us. So
yeah, I mean, I will be honest.
You're echoing now, mate.
Am I?
Yeah, you're echoing.
How?
I don't know, but you're literally echoing.
I don't know how.
That's it. That's better.
I might have been too close to the speaker. Right. Yeah, so answering Ryan's question, like I say, I've been to Birmingham a fair few times over the years, actually a lot. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of Birmingham per se. It's obviously not. Obviously, I've only ever been to Nottingham twice, and that was for obviously last year for UK PonyCon and the year before that for UK PonyCon. So I've only ever been to Nottingham twice. However, I have been to Nottingham Forest for an away game, which is football related, but that's as much as I've got to say about that. So Birmingham, I will say this: Birmingham is, I think, a good hub area because it's not as far for people to attend and travel to. Because it's perfectly central. Because obviously, as people in the UK will understand this, Birmingham is known as Midlands, which means it's literally right in the middle, mid in the middle of the UK. So it's perfectly situated for people that live in the south, like London area, and people that live in the Yorkshire area, and the people that live surrounding that area, such as like Manchester and Leicester and Doncaster and so on and so forth. So it's actually, and also there's an international major airport right there, right in the centre. So if people are flying in, so like guests, for instance, say if they get any voice actor guests at UK PonyCon, they can literally fly straight into Birmingham. So that's going to be a bit easier. Yes, there is obviously an airport for Nottingham, but obviously it's further afield. I think, if it's more on the outskirts. Yeah, I don't have a problem per se being in Birmingham, but I will say I do. Like I said, I've only ever been to Nottingham twice, but I think Nottingham is better. It's
Yeah.
not as busy. I feel it's not as busy, even though it's busy, but it doesn't. With Birmingham just feels like overly busy. Like
Yeah, it is. I
everyone's
mean, get me wrong, I know that Birmingham City Centre is bigger, on whole. However, I think there's going to be like advantages and disadvantages, but until we've gone this year, we won't. I don't. We'll know, and we'll be able to give our personal opinions, and hopefully the feedback, either positive or negative, will be taken on board. I think the PonyCon crew are fantastic. So I think we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just going to be open minded about it, really, since this will be the first time for this location. So I want to kind of be open minded about it.
I mean, to be honest, when it comes to UK PonyCon, it isn't unprecedented. It isn't unknown that they have travelled to different places. It's not been in the same place since its conception.
Well, I know that it was in Leicester. It did used to be in Leicester, which
yeah,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
About it. And obviously, I live very near Leicester, so
yeah. Well, obviously, last year when we went to 2024 UK PonyCon, there was a moment where obviously last year's UK PonyCon they were talking about obviously it was celebrating 20 years of the convention being going, and I remember there was a point where I don't know if Sam had gone to a panel or something, and I'd lost you, Lawrence. So I was literally just walking around on my own at that moment.
That's quite normal, everybody, for Nosy to walk around on his own.
Was that Saturday morning?
Quite normal, but possibly.
It might have been the Saturday. It might have been when you.
Yeah. Because the thing is, after the opening ceremony, I literally went and got straight in the queue for Ashley Ball.
Yeah.
And I think I did try to text you to say it's what I'd done because I realizing how it was very big, and I think luckily I did the right thing because.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like I say, I mean, obviously, Sam had gone to something, and I must have been at the main stage for something myself. I can't quite remember, but anyway, so I went to go and get a drink from the canteen bit, the cafe bit, and I noticed they had like a wall display, and they were showing like all the different places they'd been to over the past 20 years, and. I think Nottingham's probably the longest point they've been to for location because I could be wrong with that, but since you guys have been going to UK PonyCon, Nottingham.
I think the first one Sam and I went to was 2019, and obviously and then obviously 2020 it wasn't on. And then we did 2021, 2022, 2023, so we've actually been. I think Sam, you and I have been 5 times.
Yeah, I think it's the first year we went. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was the second year they'd been at Nottingham.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think they'd been at Nottingham. I think Nottingham was kind of like the main base for quite a while for them. You what? Sorry, Lawrence?
It'd have been 2018. Would have been the first year they'd have been there.
Yeah.
It's a chap I know, her fellow Brony, Matt. Sam, you actually met him briefly when you came to Market Harbour. You met him briefly in the Weatherspoons.
The Viking man.
Yeah, he used to go. He said he and his partner used to go to UK PonyCon when it was in Leicester. So,
I don't know why I keep pretty echoing. I don't know why. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm not surprised they decided to go with a different location because I kind of got me and Sam can definitely say this because we definitely got the feeling they were opting to or looking at elsewhere locations for possibly because when we was at UK PonyCon last year, we spoke to a couple of the people that were like volunteers and also just to bring it up briefly, the whole queue situation that happened with Ashley.
Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of the people weren't very happy with the situation with some of the volunteers that were working the queue line weren't very happy, and I noticed that the tensions were between the volunteers were starting to kind of like show itself. But yeah, it's one of those things, unfortunately. But I had a feeling it was going to be. I had a feeling it was going to move this year to a different location. I don't know why, but I just had a sneaky feeling. I think that's why as well, because it was a little bit. There was later than normal announcing stuff, or even saying it was even happening this year. There was later than normal, which kind of made me think as well that I think they've moved location, and I think they're probably in the latter stages of making an agreement.
Yeah, possibly.
That's why probably they were a bit late, a bit late, But anyway, we've got another person in the comments, Nico. Yes, it's been a while, y'all. What's crack-a-lacking? So, what's been going on?
What is going on? What has been going on with me? Whack's been busy as hell. We've been trading and doing other stuff for new Whack floors and things, so it's been quite the active last few weeks. Getting closer to my savings goal to finally get my own place, so move out my parents. Hooray! And generally just slogging through life as you do. I mean, looking forward to the next few weeks. I mean, literally in a week's time, me and Lawrence will be heading off to Griffin Isles in Manchester, which will be the first time we've ever been to that particular convention. So, if anyone out there, if you're any Brony fans, if you've ever been to Griffin Isles, pop a comment in the comment, please, because we've never been, so we've no idea what Griffin Isles is like. So if anyone knows, pop a comment, let us know. But yeah, so in literally a week today, we'll be in Manchester in Griffin Isles. So
we're really looking forward to it. Cause that's our first time for the only other pony convention that we've done is UK PonyCon. So it'll be the first time for us, first time to experience Griffin Isles. So if any of you are there, and you see us, please feel free to come and say hi. Don't be shy.
No doubt. Lawrence would be like another. It'd be going around being recognised for either his TikTok or for just somehow getting a group shot photo again with a group of cosplayers.
It's always the ladies with you, Lawrence. Like, literally, it's like every time you get stopped, it is by the ladies. Like, the ladies just recognise you. I was with this guy, and literally the amount of girls that are like, stop him, and are like, oh, we recognise you from TikTok, can we have a photo? Yeah. And as we both know, he got a photo with all of the cosplayers as well. Like, the man just seems to be in the right place at the right time. But hey.
He's a silver foxes, Lawrence. That smile is deceiving. But no, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be at Griffin Isles, unfortunately. But the whole point of doing this live stream was kind of be like a pre Griffin Isles for Lawrence and Sam as well, so they can talk a little bit about it and stuff. But obviously, I'm not going to be there, so because obviously I've got other things coming up later in the year that I'm saving for. I'm hoping to do UK PonyCon and UK PonyCon again this year, but it generally depends on what money I have left, because I'm going to America for the first time ever, going on holiday for 2 weeks. I'm going to Atlanta, Georgia for a week, and then going to Nashville for the second week. So yeah, that's currently what's eating up my money saving-wise at the moment, as well as going to another convention in August for TF Nation. So, but yeah, so I sadly won't be there at Griffin Isles, but I will hopefully, I really, really want to go to UK PonyCon again. So I'm hoping to sort all that out very soon, get the time booked off, and then get everything sorted out in due course. But I guess, there we go. We've got Ryan back. Ryan says that queue situation that queue went on too long. They stopped photos as soon as I was front of the queue. Was that on the Sunday, Ryan, or was it the Saturday? Because me and Sam, we went to queue on the Sunday, didn't we?
Oh, we queued twice. We queued. We queued. I know we did Sunday, but we queued twice on the Sunday because
Yeah,
the first time we queued, we literally went straight there in the morning. We queued for something. It must have been what, 2 hours, 2.5. Literally, I got to the front.
It was about 3 hours nearly.
Yeah, and there's Ashley Ball, and literally it's like, right, we're cutting it here because obviously I accept you need a break, understanding, and they gave everybody in the queue, a bit of paper with a something on it that basically say you'd already paid. So I went back later in the afternoon and queued for more or less another 2 hours. I did get signatures off Ashley, fantastic. But we ended up queuing for basically 5 hours, and there were people. I will fully admit this, and I agree with what John said. The queuing situation was not very well handled. We witnessed people literally really stressing out. Some people were just getting very upset because they were standing for so long. I think some people were getting stressed out that they wanted to meet Ashley and they didn't know if they would because they were still worried they were going to cut the queue at some point. I mean, I know that during the closing ceremony, bless her, Ashley was still standing for people, which says a lot. The fact she was willing to do that. But yeah, the queuing situation wasn't great, and as John may have said, I did mention that in the feedback form, and I'm not saying that overall the convention was bad. It wasn't. As always, it was a great weekend. But the queuing situation could have been better.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, UK PonyCon's a good event. Obviously, things happen. Technical problems happen. So, obviously, it was an unprecedented year. It has to be said. It was an unprecedented year to the point where it was a last-minute decision because we was told by a couple of people that were volunteers that Ashley Ball was a last-minute decision, a last-minute get, and I don't think they quite realised just how much of an attraction to the event that she would gravitate. She gravitated so much attention to the event last year. I mean, obviously, she voices two of the main six, and arguably, she's two of the most popular characters out of the main six.
Yeah, I mean, just to sort of put in there, mate, I never realised, to be honest. I mean, I knew Rainbow Dash was a big character, but I never realised how popular she was as a character because just the sheer amount of Rainbow Dash fans that were there.
Yeah, well, I think, to be honest, I think certainly that year, certainly last year. I mean, I think at the main six, I'd say Rainbow Dash tends to be the most popular among the fans.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fans do bring up Rainbow Dash quite a lot in conversation as well. I mean, obviously, each of them have a very popular, a very big following. Of course, they do. But Rainbow Dash and Applejack, irrespective of each other, they are very popular. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm not going to go too much into this whole queue thing because obviously we have spoken about it at some length.
Luna fan for life, mate.
Yeah, I'd say Luna is the best, but
no.
In terms of the main six, Rainbow Dash. In terms of the main six, Rainbow Dash is the best.
For the chat, how many songs that were so impactful on the series has Luna been in? I believe she's never had a song of her own as a solo song. She's always been in an ensemble, which means a group song.
She has had one song that's her own.
But was there anyone else involved in that song?
Yes, technically.
Literally, there's a solo song, there's a duet, and there's a group song, which means it's like all singing together. How many has Rainbow Dash had? Oh man, Oh, there's Al Fly. There's bloody hell. She's had so many on her own as a solo singer, and she's had so many a part of an ensemble and duet. What's Luna done? What songs has Luna had? People. I mean, don't get me wrong, Luna's awesome, but just how much did she really do to? You know, she didn't really help. She didn't really do much. I'm joking. I jest, people. I jest. I mean, obviously, I do like Celestia and Luna, of course, but no, Rainbow Dash is my favorite. She always will be. But yeah, so getting on to what I was just saying a moment about the queue situation last year, just to finish things off and to the question and what was sent by Ryan here, it was a problem. It was a problem, and like I said, it was an unprecedented year. The fact that they got Ashley Ball, and I think the problem is like obviously I was at the UK PonyCon 2023. I was at that one where they had Kelly Sheridan or Kelly Sheridan, yes. I always say Kelly or Kerry. I always get mixed up with the two. But anyway, Kelly Sheridan, yeah. So they had her. It was Starlight Glimmer, and yeah, Starlight Glimmer has a massive following. She became a very, very big fan favorite at the end of the series. The whole arc with her, and I'm echoing. I apologize. I don't know why. But yeah, so they had her, and even though she is very popular, she didn't really seem to have a massive queue. I never seemed to have a problem with her. And also, I noticed 2023 UK PonyCon, the line was actually different. In 2023, it was like right at the very far end, but it was kind of like split. So like Kelly was on this side, on the right hand side, and the other woman that was, I think, the voice of Overleen in G5, she was on the left hand side. So they actually kind of had the desks kind of like off shot of each other, and then they had the photo, the photo op bit behind them. And I thought that was a better structure, because why I say that is because nobody seemed to have an issue. You know, everyone just like went straight up and just feathered off like that in like a T. But I noticed last year, what I think was a stupid thing that does need to be addressed, I think, and I think they need to change it, is you go to queue, right, to get your ticket to pay to get your photo for your signature. Then you have to join the queue again, even longer queue, to actually go and meet them. Why don't they just get rid of that first queue? Why don't they just, once you've, why don't they make that the queue? So you walk up, pay, and you stay there until your time is next. The fact that you literally got to queue twice to meet somebody is part of what the problem was with that queue situation, is because it was two queues next to each other, one to go and pay to get your autograph and that, and then you had to then leave that queue that you've been in for the past 20 minutes and then go to the back of an even bigger queue to actually meet the person. That was what the problem was. That was the problem.
I've never seen a system like that. It baffled me a bit, because to pay,
what you should do is
have to go all the way back round.
Yeah, you should really separate those two queues. Have one.
You basically, all you need is like two queues, one for one guest and one for another guest. You should just queue up and pay, and as you get to where the people are, to say, what do you want? Do you want a signature or an autograph, or do you want both? You know what I mean? You pay for it there just before you go to see her or see the person. That would be better.
A better option, personally, I think, would be if they have guests this year, because at the moment we don't know if they do. I think a better option would be you could basically buy a ticket on the website.
That's what I was thinking.
An autograph or a ticket. Then that way you've got it. That would just make more sense.
Have it added to your ticket deal. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That would work well. I mean, because I say, like, if you want to buy an afternoon tea ticket, you have to buy that online.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why?
I mean, there is ways that they could make things better. Like you said, you could have it as an add-on to your ticket. So you've already got it. You're already prioritized. But yeah, that queue situation, I think all in all, we was over 5 hours. So practically the whole Sunday we was queuing. We missed everything. We missed everything on that Sunday. We basically, as Sam was saying briefly, we queued for like 3 hours first off. Literally, we got there straight away on the Sunday. We went straight to the queue. We was actually not far down the queue. We was actually about halfway down the queue initially. And then there was like no movement for about an hour. There was literally no movement. I thought, maybe, I don't know what's going on. Maybe, I don't know. Then the voice actors showed up. Ashley and the last who played Pit Petals.
AJ Bridle.
AJ Bridle, yeah. They both appeared. And then it started to move slightly. And then it just seemed to linger forever. We never seemed to make any sort of ground. And we was like that for 3 hours. And we literally finally got right where we got right to the right close, right up, and they cut the line right there to basically enforce that Ashley and AJ had to go for a break, which I have no respect. I have no problem with that at all. Of course, it's a contractual obligation. They have to give them a break.
I mean, even though I got into practically the first queue on the Saturday morning, you know, and even I was in the queue for like 3 hours, and I was getting a bit wound up to think, not like actually wound up to the point where I was agitated, but like I was thinking like, oh god, if they, you know, if I've sat here if I've sat plus or stood in this queue, because people were getting like, you know, people were actually getting down and sitting on the floor whilst in the queue.
Yeah.
Because everyone had been on their feet for like 3 hours. But I'm thinking, I'm not going to be happy if I don't get to see Ashley, if I have to come and queue up again. Because I say you had to go to one queue first to get your tickets for your autograph and signature and your photo, if you wanted both. And then I'm thinking, I mean, luckily I didn't have to, but you know, I'm really glad that I did. It was the first thing I did. And then I kind of, the good thing is, because I had a bronze ticket, I got in and I got in and had a look around the traders first before the opening ceremony.
Yeah, I mean, it was a problem.
I was thinking. I went to see AJ. The last queue on the Sunday, because the thing is, I remember you were getting to the front of the queue for the last to see Ashley, and then I suddenly caught up with you because I was in the queue for AJ.
The AJ queue seemed to go by much quicker. I don't know what it was. It was the Ashley queue that was the main problem.
Yeah.
Because there was so many people gravitated towards Ashley.
Well, yeah.
AJ,
don't get me wrong. And AJ was absolutely lovely. She was very sweet. Very sweet.
I mean, AJ was a lovely, lovely woman. I never met her. I was only mostly there to see Ashley. But I never actually went to get an autograph from her or anything, but she was a really nice person. She also went above and beyond as well. Same with Ashley.
Yeah, because I saw AJ, like, you know, she really took her time with people. Like she did like, you know, she did little videos with people. I've seen them. She really was lovely. She was actually, you know, she was really sweet, and she answered a couple of my questions, and then, you know, she took time to write a nice message to me on the picture. And then we went and had a photograph and a hug. I got a hug off Ashley as well. She did give me a quick hug.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they were both fantastic. Both Ashley and AJ, they were both fantastic. They went above and beyond. I mean, definitely Ashley. She, you know, it has to be said, she was incredible. I mean, the fact that she never got to the ending ceremony. No. So because obviously she was still signing, and she went over the contractual agreement. This was,
for her to do that, you know, you have to.
The thing is, though, not many guests would do that because, like I say,
how loyal to her fans that she is.
It has to be said she was fantastic. But I mean, like I say, just to put this to bed, this question, but it was a problem. I'm hoping the UK PonyCon guys have actually learned a lesson and are actually kind of devised a better queue situation. The fact that they've moved from Nottingham to somewhere else, I'm hoping that they might be able to introduce something a bit more better. One, like I say, the main issue with that queue was the fact that you had a one queue to go to actually pay for what you wanted, and then you had to join either of the queues again. So you had to queue a second time, joining an even bigger queue. And that's what the main problem was, because nobody was capping it at certain numbers. There was nobody really doing their job except for one lass, which we haven't spoken about before. There was one lass, and I can't remember her name, but she had like blue corduroy. I think like corduroy.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah, she was a blonde. I think she was a blonde lass, and she had like corduroy blue denim overall things over.
Is it the host? The host? Was it the host?
No, it wasn't the host. It was the last work in the queue.
It's one of the volunteers.
One of the volunteers. I can't remember her name. I don't know if Ryan might know her name. But I was
thinking. Because I remember, when we were talking about Britannia, when we went to Britannia Buddies on the Sunday, they were telling us about, and they were telling us about, how Ashley Ball was a last minute addition, and I assume they must have realised, and obviously must have taken into account to some degree that having her suddenly announced is going to attract a lot more attendees, and of course, the event ended up being sold out. So but then they must have realised that it would really, having her being suddenly announced would attract a lot more attendees, and it would require a lot more attention, and would greatly increase the pressure load. I mean, as I say, I really commend. I think, in addition with sort of the TF Nation crew, obviously we don't really talk about it on here, but say TF Nation crew and the PonyCon crew, and them two together, I think they are the best convention crews, because they really try to do the best they can with what they've got. And I'm gonna say, and I remember the chap in Britannia Buddies saying that Bexy, the host, bless her, because she hosts so many of the panels. She does like most of the panels, and she's always does all the stuff on the main stage. Like, she was being pulled in every direction.
Hang on.
I think I'm echoing a bit. I'm echoing a bit. I was.
You know what? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my microphone picking up the speakers, or if it's maybe something on Sam's end. But it sounds as if somebody's watching the YouTube at the same time as watching us. Where you get that feedback where you're watching something.
Yeah.
It can't be helped. I can't do anything about it. I'm literally moving my microphone. I'm changing settings, and I can't do anything about it on my end. So I don't think it's me, personally.
Okay, shall we move on to pre-webinars then?
I think Sam's fallen asleep.
Sam? You froze. I thought your image had froze there.
I'm literally talking away, and Sam's just like, chocolate and rainbows and strawberries. Yeah.
We should catch up on the chat. We've got a few questions.
We're bringing them in a second.
Fancy one of Pinkie Pie's pies. I watched the episode the other night. Remember the episode Secrets and Pies, where Rainbow Dash is reluctant to tell Pinkie that she doesn't like pies.
Yeah.
And Pinkie Pie desperately tries to get her to admit it, because she makes all those pies for winning her races.
Yeah, never upset the fourth wall character.
Yeah, Pinkie Pie is a bit of a, you know, like obviously Pinkie Pie's awesome, but then obviously when you get Pinkie Mina coming in,
Yeah,
right.
the famous party with The Rock.
Sam, are you bringing your laptop to Griffin Isles?
Oh yeah, I'll bring it.
Nico's back saying, "Hey, you're gonna have a great time in the States." I'm sure I will. I know it's probably the worst time to possibly go to America at the minute, but I'm sure everything will be fine. Just need to be a little bit more mindful of certain things, but that's as far as I'm going to say about it. I don't go into politics, so you
No,
won't hear
we
any
don't
politics on
talk
this
about
channel.
that here on the channel. We don't talk about that.
No, so that's as much as I'm going to say on that matter. Yeah, so Ryan said about that it was the Sunday where he had the queue situation, which was so you might have actually seen us in the queue, but probably didn't even know because we were literally probably there for like 5 hours in all. We queued for 5 hours, people. That's the longest I've ever queued in my life. Nico's back saying, imagine an R-rated MLP show, has been hotel style. Just tone down the sex jokes and violence a bit. Oh, where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? Anyway, but yeah, you know, they are past their bonus.
Funnily enough, you know, speaking of R-rated MLP stuff, or as we would say in Britain, 15 certificate rated stuff. There is there's some fan created stuff that's definitely up there in the gore factor. Like the most famous one being the cupcakes animation. That still gets under my skin. Like no matter how many times I watched a fully unrated version of that, it still gets under my skin a bit. And then for anyone that may not have read Fallout Equestria, which I fully recommend to anyone, you need to read it. Fallout Equestria, basically MLP crossed over with the Fallout universe. That's got a lot of sex and violence in it, but it's an incredibly well written book series. But yeah, funnily enough, I know, interesting little factoid. At one point, Hasbro were seriously considering a more adult rated MLP series because they knew there was a huge adult fan base. But they kind of never did it because they sort of realised that, yeah, the fans were in it for that kind of stuff. They were in it for the cute factor, if you will. So they were considering it at one point, doing like an internet-based series that would be aimed at adults. But yeah, they decided against it.
I don't know if it'd actually work in reality because the thing is you got to understand it is a child's toy franchise. It's designed to sell toys to little kids. I mean, the fact that Friendship is Magic drew such a wide spectrum of audience from all different shapes and sizes, different ages, different age groups. You had like your preschoolers, which was the right age, and you had like people around about, kids about between say 5 and 10 years old watching it, and then you had people that were like in their teens watching it, and then you had people that were full-grown adults watching it. It was like there's a pie chart somewhere, an official pie chart analysis thing somewhere that I have seen. And it literally shows just how much of like different age groups that were tuning in every single week, every episode, every season. And it seemed to kind of gravitate that attention a lot more around about season 3. I think a lot of people started tuning in like season 3 because that's when because originally season 3 was going to be the final season for Friendship is Magic, as we know.
The thing is, that was only a short season. It was only 13 episodes.
Exactly, because it was originally going to end after season 3.
There is a reason for that.
Yeah,
the 13 episodes. The reason for that was because, from what I remember reading about it, they basically slashed the budget in half. So they had a budget to go towards season 4. Because as you say, originally the whole ending was Twilight becomes an Alicorn, and that's it. That was the end.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically that was going to be the end. Season 3 was only like half as long, and it was going to be it. And they noticed after season 3, when season 3 kind of finished, or during the airing of season 3, they noticed there was like like unprecedented viewership, and there was different age groups tuning in. And then Hasbro decided to greenlight it for a 4th season.
And then we ended up with
it carried
9.
on.
We ended up with
Yeah,
9.
ended up
We
with,
got the movie.
we originally was going to get a 10th season, but
Yeah.
I don't like odd numbers, like even numbers. The fact that it finished on 9 doesn't make sense. It really
10th
makes no
season
sense.
might be happening. There's been rumours, even though it had been a while since there was any real concrete things for MLP. We still don't know what the future lies for the series or the franchise, should I say. The last sort of time I heard on the rumour mill for MLP was that apparently Hasbro have got plans potentially to sort of go back to the Gen 4 group. There's unconfirmed rumours that they're looking at doing either a series or a film to try and interconnect G4 and G5, because that was the original plan. G5 was supposed to connect directly to G4, but for various reasons involving licensing, they didn't quite manage to do it. As of the moment, there's rumours galore about a G6, but we have no idea when or if there'll be another MLP season or creation.
And obviously, given the disappointment overall that G5 was to most of the fans, I think what more of certainly of the fans in our group would want, the Bronies and the adult fans probably would want more of a would want to the missing part of Gen 4 to be told,
Yeah, I mean, you'll never go back to Gen 4. Gen 4 was unique. In a lot of ways, it was a series that Hasbro didn't see it coming. Hasbro generally didn't see the fan base coming. And to a lot of people, the fan base was a surprise. I mean, all of us here and people watching, probably discovered Gen 4. You were either maybe original generation fans or you discovered it through luck. I mean, I discovered it through interest because I kept on hearing about it, being talked about people doing artwork for it. So in the end, I gave it a watch and became a fan. But I don't think we'll ever see a repeat of G4. To be fair, it's like saying you'll never remake Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy because that is such a great adaptation. You'll never see another thing like that. So in a way, we'll never see another G4 because that's its own unique thing and it's very special in its own way.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you think it would be fair to say that if G5 had no, it makes sense why that they Hasbro did try sort of connect G5 to Gen 4 because of the success it had, and obviously they had it in mind that they wanted to keep most of the audience from Gen 4, like both the kids and the adults combined. But would it be fair to say that if Gen 5 had been completely its own thing, had been another complete reboot, do you think the outcome of it could have been different?
Maybe. I'll be blunt with G5. I like the film. The G5 film, just on its own, is solid. The animation's great. The story's good, but it could have been a bit more fleshed out, especially with the ending. So I'll give it. So with the film, like the film, animation's really nice, perfect animation, great songs, great music, and everything in the film was done to lead up to the series. Then you have the G5 series. So this is why I look at the G5 series. I don't like season 1. The animation's really poor. The story isn't very good. Season 2, animation's better. Story, not really a fan. Then by the time we get to the midway through season 3, animation's a lot better and the story's actually getting good. Now, personally, I only started really getting into G5 when Misty's character came into it. And in a way, Misty almost became the main character.
Yeah, she did.
The issue I had mostly with G5 was at one point they were clearly leaning towards a direction of Twilight Sparkle showing up because you had that whole message from Twilight. That just got
very small cameo of her appearing as a hologram.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean. But then they had that whole thing with her, and it was very hinted at that she was going to show up. But then he just completely got rid of that plot line, and then they went over to Misty, who, like I said, I really like Misty's character, and she became sort of the main character, well, the main de facto character, effectively, and also the main story evolved around her. And then I don't know how true this is, but apparently the reason why Spike shows up the way he does is something to do with them not being able to do Twilight due to the licensing rights and the cost of it.
I know that overall that was that was overall. But they say due to the licensing was ultimately the reason why the subplot with Twilight was like dropped, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she was supposed to show up. That was, I'm sure they confirmed that. Originally, the original story was that they were going to end up tracking down Twilight and they were going to find her. I don't know exactly how the story was going to go. There was one thing I heard was that she was apparently living somewhere with Celestia, Luna, Cadence, and Flurry Heart, because obviously they're all alicorns and theoretically they're immortal. So she was apparently going to be with all of those characters. The other sort of rumor going around at the time was that the main six, the main G5 characters, they were going to effectively discover, I suppose you could say, the ruins of Canterlot, and they were going to go to Canterlot, and that's where Twilight was going to be there.
Yeah.
There's lots of unconfirmed rumors. The only concrete thing that is known is that Twilight's character was supposed to make an appearance in G5, but ultimately never did because that whole story got thrown away, which is a shame because it would have been quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I've recently, yesterday, I uploaded a video to the channel, didn't I? Talking about what I feel killed G5. And I kind of do I went into the brief thing of like the filming, like as you said, Sam, and possibly Lawrence as well. I do like the film, the G5 film, A New Generation as it was dubbed.
Yeah.
I like the film. I thought it was beautiful. I think it served a good job of introducing us to these new characters. But then when obviously there was the first special, which was mostly for the bridge gap between the events of the film and the start of the series. And I noticed there was a drastic change in the animation. It was terrible, which I do mention in my video. And then when the actual Make Your Mark series started, the animation was a little bit better, but still not quite. As you say, it does get better later on. But the problem is like the main reason why I did that video is that I know obviously everybody must know really what the true reason was. I mean, I do say in my video that I feel, because this is technically what you just said, Sam, in a way. Like, I'm sorry, it was Lawrence that I suggested the question. I apologize about like would G5 be a little bit different if certain things, and I do say that the fact that G5 is anchored to G4. It has an anchoring point to G4. It's connected to G4. If G5 was its own continuity, it's new characters, it had nothing to do with G4 whatsoever. It was its own thing. The writers could have had more creativity. They could have literally introduced different villains. There could have been a lot more creative. The problem with the fact that it's still within the legacy and still within the confines of G4, they were anchored to G4. They had massive issues getting because of like having to pay an astonishing amount of money every time a G4 main 6 character made an appearance in an episode. So say if they did like a flashback episode and Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie are in it, they would have to pay 2 separate fees for both appearances. And they would have to pay an astounding amount of money. And that was one of the nails in the coffin for sure of what killed that series. Because you see at the beginning with the film, all right, you see at the beginning with the film, they were certainly working towards something and it seemed interesting. And then and then season 1 started properly, Make Your Mark, and you could tell they were working towards something. But every time another series started, so season 2, 3, and onwards, they seemed to take about 4 steps back, and it seemed to kind of go like there was like almost half of the number of episodes was them just laughing, joking, playing, that kind of thing, no substance. And then they'll start to kind of ease back into the story again. And they did this every time at the start of every series or series or the number of episodes starting throughout the whole run. And you can definitely tell there's a drastic change from the beginning to end of like they were certainly working towards something. They wanted to introduce more G4 characters, whether in past tense or future tense sense. And they couldn't. I mean, yes, they did the whole holographic projection message thing with Twilight coming back, which they would have had to pay an astonishing amount of money to get that to get the appearance for Twilight, just for that fraction of a second, couple of seconds on screen. The fact that they brought Spike back, I don't know if they would have had to have paid a fee for him as much, or maybe not as much, because Spike is a main character, but he isn't one of the main 6. So they might have been able to get around him, hence why he was in it for longer. There was in more episodes. And also they completely redesigned him. They completely redesigned him. They look like nothing like Spike we know. Even though, yes, he's older, I understand that. He's not a baby anymore. He's a full-grown dragon. I get it. But the fact is, that he looks nothing like...
Yeah, but he looked nothing like he did at the end of G4 either. So.
No, but like I said, the design is completely changed, isn't it? He goes from being a biped to a quadruped. And then on top of that, dragons now have cutie marks and now have like unique magical abilities. And the Dragonlands are no longer a place of lava and rock and all that. They're a big forest. It really didn't make any sense at all. And also Spike's been asleep for like 1,000 years or something.
It's because of the changes. It's because of the changes with the writing. It's the writing, because they obviously wanted to bring back Twilight. Definitely Twilight was going to come back in some shape or form. She would be alive at that time. Both Celestia and Luna would still be alive. And Cadence as well. They were probably going to bring back the princesses, at least, maybe 1 or 2 of them at least, and they were probably going to bring.
There were rumors, but that's all we ever got. Rumors.
Yes, it was rumored, but they certainly would have had a forecast. They would have had a full forecast throughout the beginning and the end, because when you formulate a series, it's all in storyboard format and the direction you want to go in, and it's all formulated. So you know exactly with each scenario, whatever comes in, the character's been introduced. You know what happens from beginning to end, because with every story, you've got a beginning, a middle, and an end. So it's all formulated in advance. You can definitely tell the writing is, it becomes later on as the series progresses, G5, Make Your Mark, it feels rushed. It feels rushed, and you feels that there was just a drastic, like a drastic change, because they were obviously working towards something. There's like Easter eggs and different things coming into it that fans G4 will understand. They're like Twilight's Journal, for instance. There was the whole Elements of Harmony gets mentioned. And then all this kind of stuff, all these Easter eggs that you come to know from G4. Then you get the holographic projection with Twilight in an episode. Then Spike comes back, even though it's not really, I don't see him as Spike, but it's Spike. So they were definitely working towards something, but then they had to, I think they were forced. I think either Hasbro or Netflix themselves, somebody stood in, an executive producer or somebody, a bigwig, stepped in and forcibly changed the direction, because they didn't want to shell out all this money for appearance fees.
Yeah.
And I honestly think Make Your Mark probably did not have a big budget. I think they probably only had enough budget, hence why they also recast the voice cast as well, because they didn't want to pay union fees and stuff like that for the big guys.
Vanessa Hutchins and that for the movie, and it's like
all the voice acting talent, that are a part of the movie, A New Generation film, the start of G5, all of them are union actors. they're all union voice actors and actors. Like Phil Lamar, he's an A-lister. He's definitely part of the union. And also you've got like Vanessa Hudgens, definitely part of the union. So they're all union actors. So if they're a union voice actor or on-screen actor, it doesn't matter. Irrespective, you have to pay so many different fees. You have to pay towards health insurance. You have to pay towards their health insurance, their dental. You have to another fee for something else. So there's all these hidden fees before they even pay the actor. So it's all these fees. You've got the agent's cut as well. So they cut out the middleman with the series. They went for probably much lesser known talent, which they were.
The thing is with non-union projects are, going back to many of the shows I grew up on, is by not unionizing a project, you can get away with paying the actor can be paid crap money, they can be overworked, fairly ill treated in the environment.
Like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's exactly what
as you'll know, Lawrence, John, you'll know they went through a lot of bad stuff. And it's actually why 3 of the cast members got kicked because they wanted things to change.
We have an excuse to talk about this a bit here because as of Power Rangers now still being an official Hasbro product.
I think they've still got the rights, but they're trying to apparently.
Rumor has it they're going to go. It's going to go back to Disney.
I've been hearing that as well. So much so, I watched a video by the actor that played the Red Ranger from was it Beast Morphers? No, not Beast Morphers.
Is it Dino Charges?
Dino Charge, thank you. Yes, the Red Ranger for Dino Charge. I follow him. I subscribe to his YouTube channel, and he talks about behind the scenes stuff. He talks about his time as a Red Ranger and stuff, and I found that stuff really interesting. And he uploaded a video recently this past week, and he actually talks about the rumor mill of Disney possibly getting the rights back to Power Rangers, and they're looking at possibly doing a reboot of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be based on Mighty Morphin, and it's going to be a live-action TV series. And that's as much as far as the rumors go. And he was basically going into what he would like to see, whether he'd like not so, all this kind of thing. And yeah, so even these rumors are now gravitating a lot of talk, and even the talent that's worked on the past stuff are even talking about it now. So whether it is true or whether it's not, I don't know, but it'd be interesting. It's not the first time Disney have owned the rights because obviously Disney bought the rights.
The funny thing is, when apparently Disney bought out was it Fox Worldwide, and they purchased all the Saban stuff. Apparently they didn't realize at the time that they actually owned Power Rangers. And Haim Saban said in the episode of The Toys That Made Us, the Netflix series about Power Rangers, is he meant to say every other show that I've got except for Power Rangers is for sale. But because he didn't say that, he sort of said that he unintentionally sold Power Rangers to Disney, and they didn't realize that at the time they actually owned it. But what they didn't really want to do anything with it. They just wanted, after the 10 seasons that they had at the time, they just wanted to air reruns to save money. But I think with the decision to move production to New Zealand, and made it a much cheaper option to continue the show. And as I say that, but then Disney Disney threw in the towel with Power Rangers properly in 2009, and sold it back to Saban. And then it ended up going to Hasbro.
And I don't know. This could work, but the fact that it's going, I don't like the idea of it's going to be a reboot. Because Mighty Morphin, yes, okay, it's tired now. It's a product of its time. it's very, very obviously it's cheesy. It's cheesy with extra cheese and extra cheese on top. Compared to Mighty Morphin, looking at it now, it's very cheesy, very, very cheesy. Um, but I would like it if they would kind of bring back a different series or base it on something we haven't had adapted yet from Japan, because there's still a lot of Sentai stuff like what Power Rangers is based off. There's still a lot of shows in Japan that have not been adapted yet. Different suits, different Zords, everything. So I would like it where it would kind of like continue the legacy, but like adapt to a completely different story, different ranges and everything. But I know Japan. There's certain stuff they will never allow America to adapt, and they keep it that's like exclusive to Japan only. But there is stuff that they probably would allow.
Rumor has it that in the Power Rangers comics, I think that they're going to get like a reboot in the comics currently for Beetleborgs. You remember Beetleborgs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A new version of them might make an appearance in the comics, apparently.
No. Well, the thing is obviously Beetleborgs again. That's based on like another Sentai kind of show. I mean,
that was based on the one of the Metal Hero genre shows.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean Beetleborgs. I mean, I remember Beetleborgs. It wasn't brilliant, but I do. When I was a kid, I did like it.
Yeah.
But I do remember there was an episode of I think it was part of Wild Force.
Yeah, Forever Red, the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Well, they reused some of the Beetleborg costumes for the Machine Empire generals.
Yeah. I know. I saw a couple of the costumes and I was like, hang on a minute, they're Beetleborgs.
I remember that was my exact reaction, because I think they were technically the first thing you actually see close up.
Yeah.
In the opening scene, I remember. I said, "Mum, come here. You remember Beetleborgs? Look, remember that show, like Power Rangers?"
But yeah, you don't realize is that obviously they're connected somehow because it's the same. They're all filmed at Toei. They're a studio in Toei. They have like a set performance area.
As I say, the reason, obviously, with Power Rangers being non-union is why they tend to reuse the costumes, just give them retakes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's we'll find out eventually whether it's true or not. Because apparently Hasbro still own it. I don't know if the comic books are still going through Marvel or not, or Hasbro. Or if the contract is still, there for the comic books or not. But I do know that Hasbro have stopped producing the Lightning Collection toys.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame because they would. I've had a few of them, but
I've got a couple of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would like to have collected the helmets if I had enough room. I'd love to buy the helmets. Doubt they'd fit my big fat head, but I'd like them at least. I don't have an Asian sized head. I have a very white man head.
That'd be an interesting thing if you do a stunt double on Power Rangers, mate. You see it. Fit on the helmets! Right, we've got a stunt double. Get him out. Next to the scene. We can't get it off him. You'll have to walk around with the helmet on for the rest of your life, mate.
Yeah. What would be a good story is if the Power Rangers step into a portal trying to go into one of those dimensions, like they have obviously in the later seasons, like from Ninja Steel, and that they had those dimensional portal devices so they can go into the different continuities within the show. Like you've got the RPM universe, you've got the Dino Charge universe, then you've got the main universe, which is where most of them are. A story would be that they go and they step into a portal and the portal misleads them to Equestria. It'd be good to see an MLP Power Rangers crossover. They've done a good one with the Ninja Turtles in the comics, where the Ninja Turtles actually become human, and the Rangers become sort of mutant versions of their dinosaurs. The original Mighty Morphin Rangers, they become sort of dinosaur hybrids.
That's interesting. Well, like I said, they've done Transformers and MLP
Yeah.
crossovers a few times, even in the toys as well. Yeah. Well, anyway, so let's carry on. Right, we've actually got a name here for that last that I mentioned about with the Q volunteer. Ryan says, I think it was Beth. That does actually ring a bell, actually, to me. That last that was in the blue corduroy.
Yeah, the one who was basically running the queue, basically.
Well, the one that actually had the gumption, the one that actually had a little bit of intelligence to her. Well, she had a lot of intelligence to her. You know, what I mean is by that is, I thought she knew there was a problem, and she went above and beyond, and she actually sorted it out. She tried to sort it out herself. Because like you said, Sam, before, we were given like were given a piece of paper that was like our token for priority when we came back to queue again for the
Yeah.
second time. And we ended up kind of joining the queue right at the very end of the queue again. And Beth noticed this, and she kind of said, "Right, what are you lot? What are these lot doing here? They're priority. They should be at the front. They should have been through like an hour ago, at least." So we ended. Beth literally took us, literally changed the queue. She put us first, and anybody that wasn't priority shoved them right at the very back. That might not have been very fair for somebody else, but the fact is, we were there for 3 hours previously, and we were given priority, and we were forgotten about by everybody else, and it was Beth that remembered it. And
Yeah, yeah.
I,
She started asking
yeah,
people if you had, she had that bit of paper that she, written so that all everybody had priority if you'd already paid. Yeah, because if it hadn't been for her, I generally think maybe a lot of us would never have got an autograph, and then ultimately we would have paid for one and not had one.
yeah, yeah, I agree. And then Ryan says, "Did you attend the history of MLP panel?" We did, yes. Me and Sam went to that. Well, I don't. Lawrence didn't. I don't think. I think
That might have
Lawrence.
been when I was queuing, or
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, it was. I think we'd lost you at that point. We'd lost you, Lawrence, at that point. It was like, where's Lawrence gone? And then Sam, I'd lost Sam as well. I was on my own again. Sam just wanders off and doesn't tell anybody. And then I went for a vape, came back in, and I was like, where is everybody? I hadn't seen anyone for about half an hour. And then I text Sam, where are you? I said, I'm in a panel. I'm in History of MLP panel. Okay, I'll come and see you. So I went to see it. It was an interesting panel. I mean, you can't help technology goblins. The poor guy was having issues with his computer, and it kept kind of freezing up, and he had to reset, literally hard reset everything, and uh, the way that it was like formulated, they kind of like it had like clips of like adverts and stuff. It wasn't really the history of MLP. It didn't really go into the main specifics of like who created it, who come up with a concept. It didn't go into any of that. It just kind of showed off the old 80s toy commercials right up to now, and a couple clips of episodes. Which was cool to see because I haven't really watched anything from G1 or G2 or anything like that. I've only ever seen the odd G3 thing here and there, and I've watched all of G4. So it was an interesting panel. I'm not going to say too much more of that. It was like technology wasn't working for the poor guy that was conducting presenting, the presenter of the panel. It's one of those things. But I think there needs to be a bit more support for the alternative panel programming because I think there needs to be at least one volunteer that understands IT just in case something was to happen and they're able to jump on the computer and get it all up and revving for them so that there's no time wasted. I think that could be an idea, but it depends of who you've actually got on, with people you've got within your volunteering group because everybody on the main stage, they know what they're doing. You've got like the sound engineer, you've got like the lighting people, you've got like the people on the PA system. You've got all like the ones that seem to understand what they're doing seem to be mostly prioritized to this main stage, which makes sense. Because obviously you've got the AV crew there as well with like putting stuff onto the screen and stuff. Um, But when it comes to alternative programming, it's almost like you're left to your own devices. And if anything was to go wrong, you're at the mercy of the people watching you. And it must be daunting for the poor sods. And definitely the guy that was in that History of MLP panel, I really feel sorry for the guy because he was having a little bit of a panic attack with himself at times. And I think he must have wanted to throw his laptop across the floor, across the screen at some point. But what do you think, Sam? Because obviously you was in that panel as well. What do you think?
Well, it was a very interesting panel. I mean, obviously, you can't do much about technology gremlins. They happen. It was all round an interesting panel. I've seen plenty of panels where the technology just hasn't worked or
Yeah.
there's been issues. It happens, but yeah, all round it was an interesting panel. Learned quite a lot about the history of MLP, obviously, and its past incarnations. I don't know a lot about anything post sorry, hang on, pre G4 because I've never watched anything pre G4. So I went to the panel largely to learn about that. As I said, I can't really blame the guy for having technical issues. It does happen.
No, you can't. These things do happen, but yeah, I think it was it could have been executed better. I think it could have been executed better. The fact that it was called History of MLP didn't really go into the specifics. It didn't really go into any sort of like hard specifics, like who came up with the concept, who was the first creator, who was like the parent, the father or the mother of MLP. Who came up with the concept. Who was the one that come up with the idea of Little Ponies. Even though there is a documentary out there, again, the Toys That Made Us, they did a MLP episode.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Which goes into who created it, who come up with the idea, and such, right? And because the toys came out before the cartoon.
Yeah. Apparently, what didn't I think I said at one point the title was meant to be My Pretty Pony.
Okay.
I
have no idea about that, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's what I found interesting is that obviously I think the toys came out in 81.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I think it was about 81 when the toys started coming out, and I think it was either 85 or 86 when the toys, when the cartoon started. Because I think it was about a year or two after, or just about the same time as Transformers starting. G1. So I think there was about a year or two difference between the airing of both. I could be
81,
wrong.
mate. You spot on. 1981.
81 for the toys or for the series?
Yeah. Hang on. Let me just double check that. Yeah. It originated as My Pretty Pony. It was a figurine that was introduced by Hasbro in 1981.
Yeah.
Created by illustrator Bonnie Zachary, can't pronounce that, and sculptor Charles, can't pronounce the last name. My Pretty Pony is a 10-inch tall hard plastic figurine that can wiggle its ear, swish its tail, and wink one eye. The original My Pretty Pony was followed by My Pretty Pony and Beautiful Baby, which came with an additional smaller baby pony. This followed by pink and yellow versions of the original that have the now hallmark symbols of the cutie marks. Then it became My Little Pony in 1982 with the lack of success of the My Pretty Pony toy line. Hasbro introduced 6 smaller, more colourful versions of the toy in 1982, sold under the name of My Little Pony. The toy line led to many more merchandises under the My Little Pony brand, which is unofficially known as Generation 1 of the My Little Pony collectibles. The incarnation ended in 1992 in the United States, but was marketed internationally until 95. Animators from the mid 1980s and mid 1980s from basically used those original figurines as the design concepts for the first incarnation of the animated series.
Because what I remember saying is like the Hasbro, they like the idea of the classic girls' toy. Obviously, was a doll that you could, a little girl could dress up and brush the hair and kind of thing. And the idea of having, like a toy horse or a toy pony that they could do that, a figure that they could do that. Obviously they could brush the mane and brush the tail.
Yeah.
Was,
Well, it was. It was kind of based on like the Barbie idea, really.
yeah,
It was basically just a
a
pony rather than a
pony than a
human.
doll.
And then they kind of brought in the Equestria Girl thing, which was technically just a Barbie doll. Really, it was just based on the Barbie doll thing where they had articulation and they worked like a proper doll. And then the Monster High ones kind of like jumped in on the bandwagon because Monster High became a bit of a rival with the Equestria Girl toys because they were technically quite similar.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
quite similar. The only thing is, it's more like a Halloween-esque kind of thing for for Monster High. But Monster High, I've watched a little bit of it. I watched the live action stuff, even though it's cringe as anything. But I watched the live action versions of it, and I'm just like, yeah, I can kind of see where some of the fans of Equestria Girls kind of bleed into this Monster High as well, because it is kind of similar. It's slightly similar, but the fact is that they're all kind of like descended from Dracula and the Wolfman and stuff like that,
I just want to quickly bring up a question Rhino Wi-Fi's mentioned. Who do you think the guests will be this year?
I was literally just about to bring that up.
Obviously, I'm hoping it's true because I do know Tabitha St. Germain was going to go year before last, but had to cancel last minute. So I'm really got my fingers crossed that she's
I
going to be
really
going
want to
this
meet
year.
her. I really have my fingers crossed for her too. I really want to meet her.
Yeah, I would love to meet Tabitha St. Germain. If Tabitha St. Germain comes, I would be very happy. Who else? Because it's usually two, isn't it? Usually they usually go over two voice actors. So
I think the year Andrea Lippman came.
Yeah,
I think the year she came she was the only one. I think, wasn't she?
No, Sam.
When we were there, Sam, was it?
No, there was another. There was Andrea Lippman and there was someone else.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was.
Was it that Swedish voice actress?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I don't know who that one is. I don't.
She did. I think she was a G5 character.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually. I don't know really. I'd love John Delancey, but again, whether they get him, because obviously Discord is a massive favourite, is a big favourite for G4, and also is obviously Star Trek favourite as well. So either John Delancey as a voice guest, or let me think. Oh man, one of the guys who plays.
What about Spike's voice actress?
Oh yeah, Kathy Wesselock, I think her name is. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, there's a lot of thingy about Spike as a character, but I would like Spike. I think, obviously Kathy. She was in. I think she was in G1 as well.
Yeah.
I think Kathy was in G1 and also voiced a character in G2 or G3. So she's kind of been in it, not just G4. Same with Tabitha. Apparently, Tabitha, she's voiced in the previous stuff before G4 as well for MLP. And also as Andrea Libman. I can't remember now. But I think at least 2 or 3 of the cast, the older women, like Tabitha, Kathy, and I think Andrea. I might be wrong. I might be getting mixed up with somebody else, but I know at least 3 of the voice actors have worked on like the earlier stuff, the stuff from like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, there's like the My Little Pony. Then My Little Pony was Generation 2. Then I think was it My Little Pony Tales, and then Gen 4.
Yeah. And when it comes to voice actors for PonyCon. I'm trying to remember. I'd like Kazumi Evans one year. Kazumi Evans, for those that can't remember, she's the singing voice for Rarity. Yes. Yeah, she's the singing voice for Rarity, I think. And she voices, I think, is it Ardagio? One of the Dazzlings? Or is she the singing voice for Ardagio? I can't remember now. But she plays one of the Dazzling characters, voices done. But she's also one of the singing voices as well for I think she's the singing voice for Luna and Rarity. I think. So that's another one, Kazumi Evans. John Delancey, as I just said. I would like to, like I say, I missed out on meeting Andrea Libman. Obviously, so
it would be
Andrea
nice to
Libman
meet
I got
her
to meet.
again. It would be nice to meet her again, actually.
Well,
I say, I've already got my fingers crossed for Tabitha.
yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously,
Potentially, I would like maybe to meet Sunny's voice actress from the Gen 5 series. I do like Sunny as a character. I very much doubt we could get Vanessa Hudgens, but
well, yeah, that'll be a tall order. But nah, I mean, they might be able to get a voice actress for the Make Your Mark series, the one that was not recast Vanessa. Might be able to get her, but I'd like the voice actress for Misty.
Yeah, I would as well.
Actually, yeah.
She's a big favourite for G5, and yeah, I think because obviously I think she sings for the character as well as voice it, so that's really cool. And
Baya Watson.
Eh?
Baya Watson. She's the voice actress for Misty.
Oh, right, okay.
I think I'm pronouncing the first name right. Baya Watson.
Wasn't Opaline's voice actress had a little girl with her, didn't she? And didn't she play a part in the series?
Yeah, I think she played. I think she played one of the Cutie Marks Crusaders.
What,
in the Swedish version?
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't say.
Curious about one thing, just to mention. If you're still watching Ryan on Wi-Fi, you mentioned you walked out of the History of MLP panel. Just curious why.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because there was a lot of other people that walked out as well.
Well, technical issues.
The panels at last year's PonyCon, most of what I stayed for, I think most of what I saw was the stuff happening in the main stage area, except for the obviously the charity auction.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go to more stuff, but I just didn't get to everything. I was mostly checking out like the front of queue, the front stage, the main stage. I was checking some of the stuff out on there, the voice actor panels. I did go to the History of MLP panel. I went to another panel as well. I think it was talking about G1. I think it was a panel that was dedicated to just G1. I can't remember now what it was called, but I remember going to that. But yeah, I don't go to much of the alternative stuff. Like I missed out on the afternoon tea party because it was a ticketed do and the tickets had sold out, but it's fine.
I wouldn't mind to try and do that again this year because I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but you do have to be quick because unless you've got a bronze ticket, which I might look at a bronze ticket this year because Lawrence, luckily, because you were able to tell me when it went live for you because it went live for everybody else the next day. And I set a reminder for myself about 5 minutes before it went live. I was sat here at the computer, literally counting down. And then I literally bought, like, when I got on, as soon as I literally refreshed the page, less than a minute or two after they went live, they were almost sold out. I think they had something like 5 tickets left. I got the one ticket, and then literally 30 seconds later, they were gone. So they sold out all those tickets in probably less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do it again because it was actually a really good experience. The afternoon tea, and the people we were sat to was nice, and obviously they didn't come to our table, but the AJ and Ashley did come in to sit.
Yeah,
For
I think they only do that if it's gold tickets.
gold quantity, but those tickets, the gold and silvers, are way too expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to do UK PonyCon again this year, but it just depends on money. Like I say, we'll be going to America and TFN as well, literally not far off each other, about the same time period, later this year. So I'll wait and see, and then I'm gonna miss out on a bronze ticket, but I don't really care. If I've got a queue, I've got a queue. I mean, the queue wasn't too bad last year because we got there relatively quite early, didn't we? To queue up.
We did, yeah.
So as long as you get there within a good time zone, you can get into a good position. So you're not really going to be queuing for long. And plus, with it being a new location as well, this year, it'd be interesting. Ryan,
Also, I'm thinking. Walked out just because they were just playing video clips, basically. Yeah, I can understand that. I see. As I said, I enjoyed it largely just because I did learn some stuff I didn't know, but I can understand where Ryan's coming from. That it was effectively just video clips, but I can understand that.
Yeah. But like I said, it could have been conducted better. It wasn't really anything to do with the history of MLP. They were just kind of showing like the evolution of the toy adverts and a couple clips of the episodes. And that was it. But yeah, it wasn't a very good panel, I must admit. But you can't blame the guy for technical issues. I mean, technology is never your friend. It's useful, but you can't rely on it all the time, unfortunately. But yes, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Of anything? It could be anything.
I think really all I can say now on really is, say Sam and I we're looking forward very much to Griffin Isles. And so yeah, I think what are you mainly excited about for Griffin Isles, Sam?
I think largely just for the experience, because since I've never been there before, it's a new con, so it's always interesting to go to a new con and to see what it's about. I mean, obviously, I know Griffin Isles have a close partnership with UK PonyCon, so but it should be quite interesting.
All I will say to you two, well, mostly Sam, it doesn't really matter too much, but try and record as much as you can. Obviously, have a good time, but record as much as you can.
I could do that. Don't worry, I've got a USB that's compatible with my phone, so I can download all the stuff off that onto the USB. Make it easier for you to edit it.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Yes, and I will watch in envy as you two kind of like go away, and I can't afford to do half of this shit. Anyway. But
well, you may be you're off to the States later this year, mate, and as you know, I'm off to Cyprus in November.
Oh, who are you going there with, mate?
My dad and a friend of his.
Have you been to Cyprus before?
Never been.
I have. It's really good. Really lovely place.
Yeah, nice. There's a bit more to it about that, but I'd rather not kind of give you the full details when I live stream. So I can let you know more about it when we're not broadcasting.
Well, Sam and I, we know we will be at UK PonyCon because we've already sorted out our hotel. We will be at UK PonyCon 2025, and
yeah, we will be. We're going.
Hopefully, John will be there with us.
Hopefully. I mean, I'm not going to be able to put anything towards it until I know what my money situation is like when I get back from America. because if I don't spend everything, if what spending money that I take with me, if I've got anything left, I'm gonna probably put that towards my hotel booking. And then I don't. The thing is that when I go to UK PonyCon, I hardly buy anything. And then in last year, all I bought was a print off an independent artist and a couple of little mini figures to complete my main. I got a Sunset Shimmer and I got a Pinkie Pie little figurine, and that was it. I mean, I was gonna get myself another plushie, but they were charging £100 for a Build-A-Bear, and I was like, I ain't paying £100 for a Build-A-Bear.
What was the Build-A-Bear you wanted?
It was a Big Mac. It was a plushie.
Yeah, no, that's not worth it. £100 ain't worth it.
No, and I've got Applejack and I've got Apple Bloom, but I would like Big Mac to complete the three. But I was like, £100. I ain't paying £100 for a Build-A-Bear when there was only about what 20-30 quid when I came out. I know they're not producing them anymore, which is part of why it's maybe gone up in price. Or maybe the Big Mac one is a bit rarer. Maybe, I don't know. But I've noticed the bloody prices in that dealer room are going up. I know it's really expensive in that. I mean, when I went for my very first time, when I went in 2023 UK PonyCon was my very first year, and it was bloody cheap. There was some stuff there for like 50p a quid, and I managed to pick up like two. I think I picked up like. I think I picked up a couple. I think I got a plushie actually. And
yeah, well,
they had
those independent. There was that independent store. You know those independent plushie designers there. And we bought a lot of stuff like because I remember I bought that big Sunny plush.
Yeah,
and that was only for like 15 quid. I bought several plushes off them because they were good value and they were good. And I mean, and I found some really good bargains at UK PonyCon. Like here's my Build-A-Bear Pinky and my Build-A-Bear Celestia here. They're not in the best condition. I got these for like a £10. I got this one for a £10. So she has got a tiny rip in her here, but you can't really see it. I didn't see that at the time I paid for it, but it says with Celestia here, but I got those very cheap for Build-A-Bear last year.
I found my Build-A-Bear Celestia at a charity shop in Hull. I went in there by chance, and they was only asking like £1.50 for it. I got literally a Build-A-Bear Celestia for £1.50.
Yeah, and the first Build-A-Bear I got was Fluttershy, and she only got me. I got her from a charity shop, and it was £4. So.
Yeah.
So that was before I was properly into the franchise.
I mean, like I say, like the difference between a year. I mean, 2023, I picked up Applejack and Apple Bloom plushies. I got the thing. I don't know if the Apple Bloom was a Build-A-Bear or not. It might have been, but it was certainly the Applejack was definitely a Build-A-Bear one. So I got in 2023. I got Applejack and Apple Bloom, and literally I paid 15 quid for the both of them. Yeah. One was a tenner, one was a fiver. 15 quid for two.
Yeah, so this Rainbow Dash in her gear, in her racing gear. She's the latest addition to my plush collection. I got it for my birthday from your sister.
Lovely.
She's very cute.
She is. It's Rainbow Dash for one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but no, like I say, like last year, the difference of price last year compared to the year before. God, it was a lot more expensive last year. A lot more expensive. I mean, I like MLP, but I'm not into it that much to really put a lot of money into things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the room, and to be honest, I've got a fair few plushies. I've got a Spike plushie. I've got Celestia.
I haven't got the Build-A-Bear Spike. I've got a small Spike that I got from PonyCon a few years ago. But the thing is, no, I'm really running low on space for stuff now. But I've probably got over 40. I've got over 40 MLP plushes in total.
Yeah.
So if you look here, there's about 13 here in total on the sofa with me. And, you can't see, I don't think you can see all of them. But then you can see up on the shelves there, shelves round, all the pony plushies, and there's a few more in my bedroom as well. I've actually got a couple of plushies in the kitchen, along with figures.
You want to get a plushie of Mrs. Cake, and you just kind of put her near the cooker or near the food processor or whatever, and it's like she's making your food.
Yeah. So you came here, didn't you, Sam, to my place?
Yeah. It's a shrine of Power Rangers stuff.
Oh,
And
And ponies.
and little ponies.
And the room that Lawrence is sat in is actually very big. It looks small from where he's sat, but it's a big room.
Well, it's up to you, lads. What do you want to do? Do you want to call the live finish, or is there any closing notes you want to talk about before we finish, or consider finishing? I mean, we're about just short of 2 hours, so
I could say that I'm going to try and get some videos up on the channel, but the problem is it's time. I just don't have the time during the week.
Yeah, until Griffin Isles, I haven't got anything else really pony related to talk about up to now. I haven't really got any particularly new merchandise or anything. That might change depending on what we'll come across at Griffin Isles, but and obviously I will get some Griffin Isles footage. So
yeah. Well, like I say, I mean, we are going to try. I mean, like I say, I've been uploading a little bit to the channel recently, and we're going to try and probably we want to try and do live streams at least once every maybe 2 weeks if we can. Like maybe like every 2 weeks or something like that. All three of us come together for a chat. Whether there's anything pony related or not, we're just going to come together because we want to keep this channel going. We want to keep uploading stuff. We still have a dedicated, quite faithful following on the channel. Like,
yeah, we've had people at Bronies UK and PonyCon as well. Both come up to all three of us at some point, and say they watch the channel. So people are familiar with that. It's just time. Trying to get things done.
Well, like I say, I mean, we've all got our lives, normal lives as well. I mean, I've come up with the idea. Well, sort of.
So actually work, mate, more than anything.
It is work, But like I say, I mean, I've come up with the idea of doing vlogs on the channel. Just kind of like do little like now and again, probably maybe once a week or something like that. Probably just do like a little cheerful little video here and there just to keep things ticking over until we get some kind of confirmation or some announcement about another pony series, because it's trying to keep this. I mean, like I say, we don't have to talk about ponies all the time, and this goes to all three of us. If there's an animated series, anything animated, if there's an animated series that you want to talk about, by all means make a video about it. That's all to all three of us. I know this is dedicated to MLP, but the fact is, all three of us are fans of animation of pretty much all types. And I think I think to try and make the most of it and try and maybe grow a bit more of an audience, we could talk about other things besides ponies, because that's what all the other pony channels do.
Oh yeah, no doubt we can.
So I mean, if it's easier, me and Sam could do a video together. If it's easier for Sam, if he comes round, or the odd time, we could do a video, me and Sam together, talking about something, and then Lawrence, you can upload what you want, and then we can all come together, do a live stream, all three of us together. It's the problem is because we live. I mean, obviously, me and Sam live very close to each other, and you live near Leicester, Lawrence. So it's
I live in
difficult for all
Leicestershire,
three of
yeah.
us to meet up in person, unless we're going to PonyCon or something. But we will sort something out. We'll sort something out. I mean, the best way for us to come together, all three of us, in real time is these live streams. That's why I consider doing them, because we can come together and talk about what we've been up to in real time and talk to some great people in the chat in real time. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing vlogs at least maybe once a week. Upload a video once a week. Or I mean, like I say, I've uploaded a video this week, which was me talking about G5. So there might not be a vlog this week, this weekend or whatever. I might do one next weekend. because I don't want to oversaturate the channel, because I want to give a bit of room for you and Lawrence as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to oversaturate the
Oh,
channel.
well.
And
No, we can all just
Yeah.
upload on, what we want when we can, can't we?
hey, Ryan's just come back saying, huge fan of the channel. Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank
Yeah,
you
we
for
really
sticking
appreciate
with
that,
us.
mate.
Thank you for sticking with us. I do apologise for being very quiet. I mean, as well as you, Nico, if you're still watching, thank you to you for joining us. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm proud of this channel. I don't know about you two, but I'm quite proud of the channel.
Yeah, I am. I'm definitely
We
proud to be
are.
part of it.
Yeah,
And we
we're a
are
small
growing
channel.
we are growing in viewership and
Yeah.
subscribers. So
I mean, we're a small channel, really. I mean, we're only about what 200 and what are we 230 something like that subscribers currently, I think. But I mean that's fine. I mean I don't mind. The number of subscribers doesn't really bother me. The fact is that we've got quite a nice dedicated following watching us. Um, Even though we haven't uploaded anything in months, literally, the last thing we did, the last live stream before this one was UK PonyCon thoughts and showing off what we bought. That is literally the last. That was the last time we did a live stream, and that's going back October last year.
October. So it's
So
been 8 months. Hey
yeah.
up, Silver Moon's here.
Oh bloody hell! Bit late, but I made it. All right,
Bye
Sam.
everybody. Bye.
Bye. See you next time. But no.
Oh, little Sam of TF Nation, how be you? Are you well? That's a
Oh
wait
man.
for her to type back.
Yeah. We can stay for a bit longer and round it up to about 2 hours or so, something like that.
Yeah, we'll be nice to Sam. We won't be cruel and just be like bye.
no, good to see you,
Yeah.
Sam.
For like 30 seconds.
But yes, but no, like I say, I mean, I'm quite proud of the channel, and I'm very happy. We still got a dedicated following. Very happy indeed. Sam's back saying, "Doing good, thanks, guys. How's all of you?"
Well, good, thanks.
Yeah, not
Good.
bad.
Tired, but work's
Still a bloody
getting
tired.
there. You know,
Sam's always tired. Sam
work's
goes
getting
down.
there.
Sam goes downstairs, makes a cup of tea, and he's already tired. And
That is true.
All he's done is walk down the stairs and put a kettle on.
It's very tiring doing that.
Oh, very.
Got to pour the water and mix the cup. It's very tiring. But yeah,
If you call that stuff tea that you produce,
it is tea.
most of the time at the
But
end of
yeah,
the day,
still feeling good, Sam. Feeling good.
seriously,
How are you?
seriously, Sam makes tea look acidic and taste acidic, and I don't
That
know
was
how.
one time.
What the hell was in that? Was it?
You made good brews in a hotel room,
Do you
Sam.
want to know something? Oh, thank you. But do you want to know something interesting about that weird tea? That I made that in an office. In in the previous job. I put it on a windowsill because I thought I ain't gonna drink this. I don't know what's wrong with it. Blah 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 blah. 3 months later, it was still sat at the windowsill.
Mm.
So it says a lot about cleaners, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Cup of tea was still sat there 3 months later. Funnily enough, in my current job, one of the funny things, Christmas time last year, one of the ladies in the office, she won the Christmas hamper, and she put it under her desk.
Yeah.
Completely forgot about it, which meant that over the Christmas holiday, which was like 5 days, it was just sat under her desk in an empty office. So she had to wait till after Christmas holidays before she could go and get a Christmas hamper.
Oh, man.
I'm surprised the cleaners didn't nab it. I would. Ooh, Christmas hamper, someone's left it. It's mine now.
So, Sam, do you want to say anything, closing things about the channel, or whatever? Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I am generally curious about kind of the future of this fan base. I mean, don't get me wrong, the fan base is incredibly strong,
Oh, the fan
but I
base is
do
strong
wonder.
every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder what the future's going to be like for it. I mean, largely just due to what incoming generations, because I don't know if you, because I remember the year the G5 film came out. We was at PonyCon that year, and one of the volunteers actually did tell me that there was a lot of people there at that PonyCon that were there because of the G5 film. So I am kind of curious about what the future will be like when G6 happens, whatever the next incarnation will be, how whether or not that'll bring new fans in. No doubt it will.
It probably will. I mean, like I say, I mean, look at the G5 film. The G5 film actually kind of brought in. It actually attracted a lot of first timers that
Yeah.
would never have
Well, to say there were
first time
some
shown
people that
before.
booked last minute tickets to PonyCon that year because it came out that weekend, didn't it? And the
Yeah,
PonyCon we went to, and we met some people who said they'd never seen anything else in the franchise,
yeah,
but they come to PonyCon that.
yeah. I mean, G5, the G5 film, A New Generation. It kind of attracted like a whole different wave of fans, which is a good thing, and also it kind of like boosted attendance for that year at PonyCon as well. Yeah. I mean, look at you, Lawrence. I mean, it was the G4 film, wasn't it? It was the Friendship is Magic film
Yeah,
that got
ultimately,
you
yeah.
into it.
Prior to that, I had watched the first Equestria Girls film, but it was
Yeah.
ultimately the G4 film that kind of got me into it properly.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just literally just a random episode I watched. Literally, I knew of it. I knew of Friendship is Magic. I knew it was popular, and there was a lot of talk about it, but I never watched any of it. And I got into it through. I basically was watching. I was just, you know, skimming through episodes, basically, just skimming through channels on the telly, and I come across Pop, the channel Pop, or
Yeah, I
Time
know
Pop,
that's
or
what
whatever
it
it
was
was
on.
called.
That was the channel.
Yeah, I was on Pop, and then literally there was a chat. There was an episode of MLP on. I put it on, and it was nearly finished. It was near like the latter end of the episode, and it was the episode where Spike. I've mentioned this before. Spike making a cake for Rarity, and he keeps eating the gems and that.
Yeah.
And I watched all the way for the rest of the episode, up to the end, and I thought, oh, that was quite innocent. And then I watched the whole thing because it came on again later on, and I watched the whole thing. And then from there, I was like, you know what, that wasn't actually too bad. I chuckled a couple times throughout it, and I thought it was quite cool. I thought it was all right, and went right back to the beginning. Managed to find the episodes online, as you do, and watched season one, and I think I blitzed season one in like about. I think I split season one in like about a week,
Yeah.
off and on, just watching the odd episode here and there on my laptop. And then by chance, I think I'd literally was what currently watching season two at the time, and I think I might have been on the YouTube app on my TV or something came up about MLP, and Sam noticed it when he was round once, and he just like kind of went real quiet and started looking at me, and he went, "Do you watch MLP?" And I went, "I have done, yes, and I'm currently watching. I'm on season two at the minute." And he went, "I like it too," and that's how we both found out in that moment. We both liked the show, and then
Well, the thing is, before I met you guys in person, when I'd seen, I think your previous TF Nation hauls from TF Nation 2016, because my first TF Nation was 2017, and I saw Sam, your haul from that year, and that was the year you showed off the Build-A-Bear Luna you bought.
Yes.
hey, excuse me. Excuse me. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting about the future of MLP is going to be like, because I mean, like, there's a lot of dead air around MLP at the moment, about the future. We don't know. Obviously, it's still at Hasbro, because it's still a Hasbro property. But who will be the next home? I hope it's not Disney, because I think Disney will fuck it up.
Yeah.
I really hope Disney don't get their hands on MLP.
No,
They
'cause
will fuck it up.
Disney are just ripping. You know, they're just
Disney is shit now.
destroying every franchise they are.
Disney themselves are not on about Pixar, just Disney.
Yeah.
They're shit now.
They're
They're
becoming
just like-
parody. They're becoming a literal parody of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I love Disney. I love the golden era stuff. I love the like Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, the original. I love like the Lion King and all that stuff. I
Yeah.
love their original.
I
3D
did
animated
go and
stuff.
see the Snow White remake just out of sheer curiosity, and I'm not thinking no.
I ain't
No.
giving them a dime of
broke
my money.
it.
You know what? What's interesting? The live action Snow White film has actually. It's actually kicked off the top spot of one of the worst films ever made, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Evolution was the #1 worst film ever made, and it's been at #1 with I think a 2.5 rating. That's how bad it is of overall audience opinion, and the new live action Snow White film has come in at 1.3 or something. 1.
So what I've heard
it's
is
now literally the worst film ever made.
what I've heard is now it's after Lilo and Stitch. Apparently, that it said that Disney are going to pull the plug on any further live action remakes.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Like with the Snow White remake, obviously no one was interested in it at all. Not to mention, thanks to Rachel Ziegler basically getting all superiority and basically saying loads of bad stuff about the original and claiming she should be paid loads of money, blah 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 blah. The film itself, so its budget was about 300 million. Currently, box office is sitting at 194 million, so it's a massive loss for Disney.
It's over 100 million. It's lost them. So.
Yeah, it's a massive loss. And Silver Moon here says, being a fan of MLP since the 80s, even longer than Transformers.
Aye. I knew she was I knew that she basically grew up with MLP from the 80s for G1 and that. I still say this, Sam. G4's better than G1. She'll appreciate that one.
I did try and watch a bit of G1 just to see if I can, just try and get it, but I couldn't get into it. It's, I think Gen 4, is.
I've not watched anything, I don't think, of G1, to be honest.
I did try watching the Gen 1 movie just to check it out, to see how different it was. But
I think I've watched a couple clips, or maybe I've watched maybe one episode and that, and I was like, oh no, I don't like this, don't like it. I watched, I think, a little bit of G2, I think like an episode, and I've watched like a couple episodes of G3, and it's just like tripping on acid. G3, it really is. And I was like, even Apple, like, it's basically like Rainbow Dash is my favourite character for G4, but yeah, Rainbow Dash is my favourite character from G4, but Rainbow Dash in G3, oh my god, is like complete polar opposite. She's like horrible. She's like, she has a posh voice for one. She was like, "Hello, my darling," and I'm like,
sounded a
"This
bit like
isn't
Rarity.
Rainbow Dash."
Sounded a bit like Rarity in Gen 4.
Yeah, she basically kind of was G3 version of Rarity, really.
I say, really, what was it? 'Cause I think. Well, Pinkie Pie. I know that Applejack, Rainbow Dash, and I think Pinkie Pie have all been characters in previous generations. But I
All of them have.
Except for Twilight, was she?
All of the main six at some point have existed in previous incarnations.
Yeah. So I know there was a character that was like Twilight, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a Fluttershy, there's a Pinkie Pie,
yeah,
there is a Twilight, but I think she's called something slightly different because obviously for a G4 she's called Twilight Sparkle,
Yeah.
but I think in an earlier thing she's just called Twilight. I don't think she's got a second name. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, there is a version, an earlier version of Twilight. There's an obviously Applejack, definitely. Um, yeah, I mean, like I say in the movie, the G4 film, there's a couple of flying ponies right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
When it follows them ponies flying, apparently they're actually G1 characters. I can't remember the names, but I think Sam pointed that out to me once. That remember Sam on the G4 film and them ponies flying.
Yeah, they're G3 variants, I think.
G3 variants, right?
Or they could be G1, I'm not actually sure. Sam's also threatening you. She's saying, you wait until August. Though I think it all depends on when you get into get into the fandom, because that's what's special to you. P.S. I'm going to punch you, John. Love, Sam. She's going to punch him, mate. I'll record that. I look forward to watching her do that.
But like I say, I mean, I just haven't really looked into G1 or any. To be honest, I was never a fan of MLP at all. It just didn't really.
No.
It just didn't really
When I was a kid, when I was younger, when I was a kid, some things I did watch that were aimed mainly for the female audience were first there's Princess Starla, as known as Princess Guinevere in America. I used to watch that on Saturday mornings before Power Rangers. And then with Fox Kids, I think when Pokemon became very popular, they started airing all the other animes. Like when I watched Sailor Moon, I got into that. And then when with the Cartoon Network, obviously they had the Powerpuff Girls, and obviously there's a connection there because with Lauren Faust developed Powerpuff Girls.
Well, without Powerpuff Girls, you probably wouldn't have Friendship is Magic, or you wouldn't have Tara Strong as the title character anyway. Because that's how they met. That's how Lauren Faust and Tara Strong met.
Yeah.
When she was working on Powerpuff Girls, because obviously Lauren Faust was the character designer, I believe, and I think she might have been one of the writers as well, because apparently they became real close, Tara and Lauren. And then when Lauren Faust was coming up, when she was coming up with the concepts for like the pitch, basically to pitch it to somewhere for Friendship is Magic, she basically apparently obviously she had Tara Strong in mind to play Twilight, but apparently she actually auditioned for Pinkie Pie, I believe.
Yeah, she did. She did. That's what she said. She did. Yeah, she did. She did audition for Pinkie Pie, and
but then she actually got but she was asked to kind of like do an audition for Twilight as well. But she ended up getting Twilight. So. Yeah. Well then, lads, do you want to bring it to an end tonight? So we're just over 2 hours.
Yeah,
I can do.
Yeah, I think.
All right. Well, it's been a good chat.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it. Really glad to be here as usual. And we really respect. Thank you to those who have joined us and and sent us questions and it's always great to chat to you. Thank you for your continued support. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, thank you to Silvermoon, thank you to Ryan, and thank you to Nico. Thank you all three of you for coming in and chatting with us while we've been live. Like I said, we will try to come together for a live stream probably every 2 weeks if we can, depending on how we are work wise and what we're doing. I know Sam and Lawrence. I think it's next weekend. Are you going away?
Yeah,
it's Friday.
Next Friday, yeah.
Next Friday. So there won't be a live stream next week. It'll be the week after. We'll do another one possibly, and you guys can have a little chat about. We can chat about what you thought of it. About everything else. So we could do a live stream the weekend after you've come back, if you wished. But But yeah, we're gonna try and do live streams as often as we can. In the meantime, I'm gonna, probably do a couple of vlogs. I'm gonna try and do like once a week, try and upload a little vlog just to kind of give you something to watch. And then I think whenever Sam's available, once he's back from Griffin Isles, of course, as well, probably kind of do a couple of videos with me and Sam together. And if Lawrence, in the meantime, obviously, if you want to upload anything and talk about something, Lawrence, of course, you're more than welcome. Obviously, it's not just my channel; it's our channel. So
our channel.
We all have rights to. We all have the right to kind of talk about what we want to talk about and upload what we want to upload. So yeah, thank you very much. That's enough from me for tonight. But thank you ever so much for the support. Thank you to those that. Thank you to anybody that watches this once we're no longer live. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for every time, even though there's been massive gaps in between anything uploaded, I am just flabbergasted. I've uploaded the video to. Huh?
Yeah, you froze for a minute.
Hey?
My end, yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I never. Yeah, I've never known a channel quite like this, because like when it comes to YouTube, and you like don't upload anything for like nearly a year, because it was literally about 10 or 11 months gap in between one thing and us uploading another. That's the longest I've ever gone without uploading anything to a channel. And when you go as long as that, the algorithm doesn't promote anymore, and you pretty much end up with a dead channel, because there's nothing coming, there's nothing going, there's nothing happening with the channel. It's inactive basically. So basically, when I uploaded something just by chance, and I ended up getting, it got a decent viewership, and I was like, bloody hell, I've never known this. And literally everybody that used to watch us, nearly everyone that, all the people that used to join in when we was uploading more often, came back, and I was over the moon with that. The fact that people are still here and are still seeing notifications of whenever we're live and whenever we've uploaded, and that's fantastic. Very happy. But that's enough from me. What about you, Sam?
I'd say thank you to everybody that's tuned in, to everyone that's watched and left us a comment and asked us a question. Thank you for the ongoing support for this small little independent YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I say, I honestly couldn't say much more than what John and Sam have said, but just thank you so much for your continued support. And so hopefully, Sam and I will have some footage from Griffin Isles that we can, hopefully share with you here when after we've come back. And I say, if anyone, anyone who watches this after the stream, after we're live, if anyone sees this who is going to be at Griffin Isles, if you do see us there, Sam and myself, if you do see us, please don't hesitate to come and say hello. You can come and chat to us, come and have a picture.
If you're a lady, just be very careful of the smiling Lawrence, because he's a silver fox in reality. If you are, if you're a young lady, or if you're, basically, fathers, lock up your daughters whenever Lawrence is about. But no, Lawrence is awesome, really. But I just wanted to warn.
John's awesome too.
I just wanted to warn all the possible young ladies in cosplay that seem to kind of be attracted to Lawrence whenever he's at UK PonyCon or whatever. Oh man. But anyway, so yeah, thank you for watching, folks. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be back very soon with another live stream. Probably, in 2 weeks' time, a week after Griffin Isles. Probably do one that Friday when they're back, if things work out, that is. In the meantime, just keep your eyes peeled. There'll be more videos coming. I want to do a video talking about some more animated series, a part of it, not necessarily pony related, but there is some animated stuff I would like to talk about, different series and things of that nature. But yeah, take care. Thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Peace out, everyone.